Tell me about your week, sir.
All right. Well, since
You described
might as well.
You described Shamurai
Sham show.
Sham time.
Sham so.
Nailed it.
Yep.
What's the issue?
The issue is quite simple.
You got a case of the bads?
It's like I'm like, you know what? Let's just nose to the grindstone, right?
Yeah.
Let's find that time, and let's put something away. So I have rotated things in my schedule. Obviously, I'm doing a lot of like doubling down on recording time to get ready for leaving to Japan.
Yeah.
So that's pretty hefty. But since pretty much Evo, I've been like, no, I want to take a real crack at like stepping it up.
Want to get good?
Because I feel like I'm like, I have the knowledge. I can do it in this game, right? I played matches where most of the time I'm like, I know exactly what I did wrong there and how I could have fixed that. So yeah, I did a deep dive, watched hours of match footage, sunk into the discords, read back on all the tech, matchups, frame data, going in.
Just put it in your brain.
I am like becoming one with Darlie Dagger.
Yeah.
You know, trying to master as much as I can of the things that she needs to you know, do good in this game. And as you do it, you start to see that same familiar feeling.
Oh no.
Of there is a limit to how far this character can go.
Yeah.
And your love of this character
has nothing to do with it.
Yeah. And you can decide right here and now if you want to take all this information and use it to struggle or to just win, right? Because with the same knowledge and like current level of execution I have, I could just play a character where I don't need to think about those
that would give you
problems.
wins where otherwise you would get losses.
Yeah. And this is the struggle. This is
what do you hear that? I think the ghost of Sanford Kelly has entered into your home.
Oh my God, Sanford.
Sanford, are you can you hear us? What do you have to say to us, Sanford?
Pick a top tier.
Just pick a top tier.
Pick a top tier.
What are you doing? What are you wasting your time for?
Pick a top tier.
The fuck is this character bullshit?
Loyalty.
Just pick a top tier.
Garbage.
You want to win? Anybody doesn't know what the fuck we're talking about, type into your YouTube or browser of choice, Sanford Kelly, pick a top tier. You will find an illuminating conversation walking down the street
from Chinatown Fair. Yeah. You know. So this is where
just do it.
I've talked about it many times, but it's like I love a character and their design and everything about them first, and then I roll the dice. Because it's like, I don't know how or what it's going to be. It might be amazing, it might be terrible, but if I like them, I'm going to play them, right? Yeah. Which is why I always laugh at the like, you know, Woolie tier whoring stuff, because I'm just like, here I am, in this case, looking at a character where it's like, God damn, if I'm not playing her, like, I can still have fun playing, like, Galford, who's fine.
Yeah.
Or I could play Yoshitora, who's really cool.
Yeah.
But she's the fucking best, man. Yeah. She's made for me.
She's made for you.
Made for me. So what am I doing if I'm not playing her? And
winning?
Yes. So you kind of just you get confronted with this thing where you're like, okay, I'm playing a lot of ranked, and in particular against like Genjuro and Tam Tam. You're just kind of like, you never have control of the situation.
Yeah.
You never have control of the match. You never have control of what is happening.
You're in a persistent reactive state?
Entirely.
Yeah, that's no good.
The whole time. And you're punishing them taking the lead, and you're trying to figure out their habits and beat them to it. But you don't get to run a game plan.
Yeah.
You know? And I remember the days
You're playing their game.
You're playing their game and trying to beat them at their game. Yeah. So I'm entering your Genjutsu. I'm entering, you know what I mean? Yeah. I'm entering your world, and I am a player in your stage, and you are the boss, and this is your stage.
Yeah.
And you get to have ads, and you get to have a bigger life bar.
Yeah.
And it's up to me to learn your boss pattern and beat you, right?
Yeah. Except it's another human who just gets to do whatever they want.
Yeah. And I've been on both sides of this. I've played characters that just run a train on you.
You played fucking Sagat and Blanca in CVS 2, didn't you?
And Cammy.
Yeah. Like, fuck!
yeah. Just
that was a good time for you.
Just based on those being characters I loved.
Yeah.
know? No qualms there. But for the most part, like, yeah, and when you and it's the same thing for like games like in Marvel as well. Like when you have Virgil on your team,
Yeah.
it's like you just get to do things, and
Yeah.
they have to try and deal with it.
Yeah.
And if they're
I get to be Virgil.
Yeah.
And you get to be who Virgil's beating on.
right, and if they're blocking, then you're like, oh, let me just try another
well,
thing. I'm over here now,
yeah.
right? And that's it. And you just do that until it works.
Yeah.
So yeah, Genjiro and Tam Tam in particular get to do a lot of that. Charlotte gets to do a lot of that.
Yeah.
Right. They get to just hold the screen and going into like going in depth and seeing, I'm like, okay, what are my actual options here, right? Well, it turns out most of what's being done can be punished if you do a perfect block.
Yeah.
Just defend and then
Sure.
right. But you got to do those.
And that's hard.
Well, I mean, it's not so much. It's difficult enough. You can get them, but the step to getting them requires you reading the person already.
Yeah.
So you already have to be in their head, and if I already know what you're gonna do, you know what I mean? Like that's the most optimal way I can beat you. I'm the hard part is the fact that I have to get in that level of.
Well, Woolie, what
need to
happens
begin
if
with.
you're getting into their head and the character is also into your head and is reading your mistakes?
Right?
Does that just mean that you just lose?
That generally is what
That
it turns
doesn't sound
into.
fun.
It's not as fun. No.
You can't assume in every situation that you will always be the 51% like slight mental advantage over every opponent, because you won't.
And I remember this feeling, and I remember being here and being in this exact place where you're just like, man, I'm working so much harder than the person playing the counterpick here. And it makes you just go like, why not just switch? You know
what's
and it's like, because staying true to myself, I like playing as them, the end, you know, and that's a self-imposed weight that I've always carried with me. And I'm like, oh yeah, I remember this weight, right? Back when I was playing competitively a lot, I was like, yeah, I used to just sweat the feeling of, man, this feels bad because I'd be doing so much better if I picked a better character. But instead I'm going to stick with the one I love because I love them, you know? And that while I'm coming to those like conclusions and whatnot, and everyone in the Discord nowadays is like sharing the struggle, just like back in the day, everyone on the Shoryuken forums is sharing the struggle. But the article comes out where they talk to the director and he goes, yeah, so I think a balanced game where everyone is the same is boring, and I think it's fun if you have someone who's strong and everyone you have someone to hate. You know, in regards to the fact that top 8 was a whole lot of Genjuro at Evo. So basically an article that same time frame comes out going, yeah, if you're one of those people that's waiting on that balance patch,
start waiting.
You might get one, but it might not be as good as you're thinking.
But also that balance patch is more likely to just nudge somebody else, right?
But as is, we've kind of made it so that these characters just have an easier time living. You know,
there's an interesting like cross section of that comic, because I follow you, I follow Max, I follow Gerald from Corey Gaming, and I got to see like this cross section of feelings. Max was like, somebody gets it, and he was like, yeah, and I saw your nuanced opinion, which was like, you can't push this too far.
There's a sweet spot,
because then you get Yun and Yang in Arcade Edition. And it reminds me of what Gerald at Corey Gaming said when he was talking about tiers, and it's like, Ken versus Ryu in Street Fighter 1 is not the 5-5 utopia we all crave.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, so people were curious about
it's delicate.
The Twins edition or of Street Fighter or whatever, because it's been referenced. And the short version of it is ultimately just that, like, they came in and they upset everything by being the best in the game so clearly that you were left with no choice but to switch to them or stop. Right,
well,
which is what everyone pretty much did.
Yeah.
It just there was nothing else to it.
So I'm going to point out I just saw somebody in the chat asked a really good question. It just said 5-5 question mark.
Yeah.
Woolie, you want to take that one?
Sure thing. When we talk about matchups, right? A matchup is the likelihood of my character beating your character if the users
are the same person,
are even skilled, are the same person. So if I was using Ryu and you were using Ken, and or rather, if I was using Ryu and a copy of me was using Ken,
Yeah.
and we fought, 5-5 means 5 times out of 10 matches Ryu would win, and 5 times out of 10 matches Ken would win.
For example, in Street Fighter 4 Vanilla, a situation that I know very well, Zangief in that game had 6-4 and 7-3 matchups against almost everybody in the cast. He was really good, except for his 1-9 matchup against Sagat, who also happened to be the best character in the game.
Also Seth.
And Seth, yeah.
Seth was a 9-1 matchup.
Right.
So if both players are the same skill level, right, the Zangief would win 1 match out of 10, and Seth would win 9 times out of 10, because the tools he has are just that
invalidated by Seth's bullshit
Right.
and Sagat's bullshit.
Now, across the board, that when you look at when you look at that, you go, that sounds like bullshit, and it's like, yeah, that is bullshit.
It totally is.
That's not like, you have to try that hard to make the odds win in your favor. You have a 10% shot here, right? What you'll see though is, in a lot of cases, if a game is being balanced correctly, quote unquote, it's not about pushing 5-5, because 5-5 is the same character across.
It's impossible and it's boring.
It's Karate Man versus Karate Man, and it's
Yeah.
very boring. Exactly, right? And what you want is a closer spread. So at worst 7-3, right?
At worst 7-3 and at best 6-4.
And you want, well, you can have 5-5s, you can have 5.5s to 4.5s. That's fine.
Sure.
But ultimately, you want a thing where if you look at the grid of every single character versus every single character, they have some favorable and some unfavorable matches.
Yeah. Street Fighter 2. It sucks ass to play Zangief versus Dhalsim. It sucks.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
But is there someone that Geef can crush?
Yeah.
So then it works out the
Yeah.
opposite way. So you have a nice spread. So all that to say that, like, yeah.
It's funny that we talk about this, because I'd actually like to pull it. There's a weird social version of this that I hope you never have to encounter, Woolie. In the Heavensward time in FF14, a lot of people are like, I love Paladin, man. I'm going to rep Paladin forever. It's my favorite class. And people are like, there's a tank class called Dark Knight that is literally better at every fight that's in the game right now.
Yeah.
Conclusively, they are better. It
Yeah.
is the difference between beating the raid and not.
Yeah.
And fucking level the new character. Do it. You are wasting everyone's time. And that was just this constant awful, like, because it's not just pick a top tier because I want to win. It's pick a top tier and my buddies are losing. Because I didn't pick a top tier.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Feel bad.
Hanzo mains. So solo queue Hanzo main.
Yeah,
back in the
exactly.
day. Yeah.
I want to play Hanzo.
Can you aim?
No.
Well.
Fuck.
Yeah. So it's an interesting thing, you know, and the idea of the frustration comes from the fact that you're like, the core of that number is based on the person sitting across from me putting in the same amount of effort, skill, and you know, like, work, and it's just a harder hill to climb. So, blah 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 blah. A lot of these matches,
you can see Darley's ceiling.
I can see her ceiling. And I can see them saying in that they're like, yeah, we like this game unbalanced. We like there being super strong characters and characters that are super weak, and that's that.
See the director going, get good scrubs,
right,
LOL.
right. and it's funny because when you look, and it's a matter of, like, people say tools, right? It's like the kit. Your kit in any game, is determines
what do you have to deal with
you
the
can deal with.
situations that you arrive at.
And for her, she's been given tools that are like, if you fall for this gimmick, you lose half your life or the whole round in one shot.
Which means by default they can't be reliable.
Because the gimmick is super exploitable once you know how to stop it. But if you've never seen it before, you get a free round.
She's a fucking scrub crusher.
Of course. But anyone, it's not even amateur. It's like, if you've played the game for more than an hour, you will learn that those aren't real.
So she's a Guilty Gear character with just instant kills?
You know, but those aren't real.
Yeah.
Right? Oh god, I saw a really funny tweet the other day about just like how disheartening it can be while someone that's new is getting blown up by someone else, just going, LOL, those aren't real. Like, what are you doing? And you're like, what does that even mean? But it's just like, yeah, it means that there's a 100% way to stop these gimmicks, right? But she was treated as if those gimmicks were valuable.
Yeah.
Even though if you can stop them 100% of the time. Imagine if we were playing rock, paper, scissors.
And I knew what you were going to do.
And for me to play scissors, it had a startup. So I had to put out one finger and then the second one.
Bam! Rock!
Every single time I put one finger out, that's the end of that, right? So, like, it would be like that in effect is nothing. But, so anyway, not to just be sound like...
What are you going to do?
Well, I'm going to keep playing the game because I really like it.
No, that's not what I meant. What are you going to do? You gonna fucking hop over to fucking top tier town?
No. I like her too much.
Coward.
Yeah. I stuck with Biking and Guilty Gear.
Well,
I watched the one. I mean, Blanca came and won. I was still, but I just kind of like stuck with Nikali out of like familiarity on that. But in MK, right? I made a switch.
Yeah.
I was playing Kotal.
Yeah, he was ass.
Yeah, he just got slightly buffed, but not enough.
Yeah.
Right? I switched to Geras. Why? Because I was interested in him from day one.
Yeah.
Right? I was right off from the get-go, I'm like, there's Noob, Geras, and Kotal as 3 possible characters I want to play. And after Kotal just wasn't cutting it, I'm like, well, let me just go with Geras, because I enjoy playing as him as much as I would with Kotal. It's fine.
And you better play with as him now, because he's never coming back.
Yeah, well, there's that, you know. I think Kotal's cooler, but like I enjoy the character enough that I don't mind the switch there. But in this case, Darley's the fucking best, man.
So I understand the issue here, because it's like, do I want to have fun or do I want to win? Do I want to play the character that I enjoy, or do I want to have the win number go up?
Yeah.
To this, I say to you, you know what's really fun? Winning.
Winning is fun.
Winning's really fun. It feels really good to win a lot. You do it, and you're like,
This is going to sound insane, and this is also this requires me to fucking create a world where I'm up my own ass for a second. So if you don't mind indulging,
all right, I'll get my helmet.
If I were ever to be like a actual top player in any game, right? If I were to be some sort of person that were actually able to make it to Sunday at Evo, right? I would much rather be the person who is known as the best blank, that is the specialist, that doesn't always get to grand finals, than the one who Shang Tsung's but crushes it because of just raw fighting game skill.
So to get a little bit more inside, you'd rather be Snake Eyes than Justin Wong.
Sure. I'd rather be Kage, the best Ganon, than anyone else who switches up. And it's a really stupid thing, and like it's weird because it's like, yeah, it means your priority is not winning, so you're kind of like dumb for thinking you're going to beat someone whose priority is winning, you know? But I love the characters in these games so much. It's a huge part of the reason why I play them. So it's hard for me to, you know what I mean? Like, I think I described it a couple times as like, I love Steve Fox more than I love Tekken. I love Biken more than I love Guilty Gear.
Yeah.
Right? The character that speaks to me shouts and screams at me.
Yeah.
And I love playing as them, and I learned to love playing as them because I like the character. And what if I pick someone else? Like, I remember when I made a switch to Honda, from Blanca in Street Fighter 4, and then I eventually just dropped it because it was a better character, and he was more effective,
and he was similar to Blanca.
Very similar. He did a lot of things better than Blanca could, but I just was like, yeah.
So.
But even then, Blanca was a pick from my childhood.
The irony there is that I call you a big coward and say winning's fun.
Yeah.
Remember when I stopped playing Final Fantasy XIV for like a year and a half?
Yeah.
It's because the class that I really like to play got fucked up, and I didn't like to play it anymore.
Yeah.
There were 2 other tanks that I could have picked that filled the same role very similarly.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to play Paladin and Warrior. I didn't really want to play Samurai either. I wanted to play my fucking Dark Knight. And then the solution to that was not pick a better character. It was stop playing the game, I guess.
And every time you see one of these real low tier gods
Yes.
show up, right? You see your
like when Kuroda embarrassed Jay Wong all those
Koji
years ago with
Kog.
Q.
when you see a fucking beast like El Fuerte or T-Hawk out of nowhere.
When fucking Gamer B showed up with Adon.
Hakan infiltration random, you know, like when you just see characters where you're like, wait, what? Right? Like, that is so much fun. And everyone roots for them.
Yeah.
Because it's so, you're like, yo, you're doing it, right? You're using
Who let you in here?
And how did you get this far with someone that clearly doesn't hold up, you know, against everyone else?
If I fucking turned on the TV and there was some, you know, invitational third strike fucking whatever, and I turned it on and I'm looking at the fucking quarterfinals and I see fucking Sean, I'm gonna lose my fucking mind.
Exactly.
I'm gonna go crazy.
Yes. And everyone is on board, right? And the best possible outcome is like Kusoru in Marvel 3, where he showed up and he played Rocket Raccoon, Beautiful Joe, and fucking Frank. And everyone was like, what?
Why?
Because Log Trap combined with Red Hot Kick is incredible. And he found it and he used it and he fucked everyone up and no one had any idea what was going on, right? Chris G with his Morrigan. You invented some shit? Hell yeah. Run with it, you know? I really just, I love that specialist, that loyalty and that feeling of like, fuck yeah, you're doing it with that character. And
I don't think Samurai Showdown is the kind of game that has hidden bullshit magic in it. I think Samurai Showdown is about hard reads and knowing your character matchups.
I've already found some hidden magic.
Oh, there's
bullshit.
hidden magic?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
There's advanced ass inputs. There's really complex things you got to do in certain situations. And, oh God, like there's stuff you have to do that is like it's a deeper layer of the system by like, you have like micro walking is a big part of like what makes better combos work. Micro running is a whole other thing I just learned about, where you're doing like forward, back, forward plus button inputs to get a non-running normal. You want to get a run and then... Do you understand what I mean?
So, I do understand what you mean. And I was about to do something very stupid. I was about to say... Fuck you, I hate this.
Yeah.
I hate this.
Yeah.
I fucking hate this.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I now refuse to play my MMO without my fucking latency eliminating fucking
whatever plugin.
What's it called to move the thing? The IP thing.
Yeah.
My brain is going away because, well, if I don't do that, I can't double weave and slide cast as efficiently.
Sure.
And I'm like, well, fuck me.
Yeah.
I have no room to talk.
Yeah.
VPN. And it's like, yeah, no, it's the same. It's bullshit little fucking garbage hidden crap that are accidents of the system that you utilize for your advantage.
And it just, you just have to kind of get used to the fact that it's like, okay, so what does he have to do? Well, throw you, then do medium punch, and then weapon flip, or jump back, heavy attack, and
that's
fine.
Pretty good.
Cool. What do I have to do? Throw you 6646B into weapon flip, or something like that, just to get an optimized version of what he can do for free or whatever. And then you're like,
no.
It takes more work.
Yeah.
But when you use that, right, when you know better than someone who comes along picking one of the best characters just because they're good, you get to absolutely destroy them.
Yeah.
Right? And that was one of the fun things about, like, when I played Blanca versus Snafu's Dalsim for, like, hundreds and hundreds of games, was like, despite this not being in my favor, if I face another Dalsim, they're fucking cooked.
Yeah.
Because holy shit, I know this match, you know? So I'm hoping to get to that point. But in the meantime, I'm just putting the work in. I'm putting the work in. And facing that cold, hard reality, it's a familiar weight, but I'm going to hold it nonetheless. And I'm going to stick with the character and just try to get good enough, you know, despite the fact that I'm going to be playing reactive the entire time. Yeah.
You can only this is where it gets really weird, where I'd like to pick your brain on this because it's only applicable in competitive sports, competitive games, whatever, in which do you ever wish that the character was actually, follow me on this, don't freak out, slightly worse so that even less people would play them, which would allow the hidden garbage to be more effective?
Yes. Because I that's not even a weird thought, because you want that. You want a really initial bad impression to everyone else where they just go, Adon, fuck
Why would
that
I ever
character.
play Adon? I don't need to learn
Fuck
about
that
Adon.
character.
Yeah, I don't even know, fucking, who gives a shit?
Hard cut to Gamer B.
Yeah, just,
And everyone going, ugh, because the unknown factor is strong. Yeah, totally. 100%. 100%.
that's so weird.
You know.
You're like, oh, I hope they nerf my character.
Yeah, and the important thing too is to not get too salty when you face somebody that's picking a brain dead character, right? Because then you just go like, fuck this guy, you suck, you're not that good. You get too in your head before the match even starts.
Before you play your matches, you fucking go to that Scrub Quotes account and you look at the feelings that you're having in your mind put down onto the page, and you go, no, don't type it. I want to type it. Don't.
I remember the exact moment that I went from like just being so pissed every time I fought another Ken in Street Fighter Vanilla 4. Right? Because it was an endless wall of them.
It was the worst ever.
Right? To the point where I learned to love it.
Because it was free.
It was a double perfect.
Yeah.
Like, you're not getting anything done. I fought so many Kens.
How many times I fought this fucking match?
and they all have no game plan.
And a bunch of them were better than you.
But I just know so much about it. And the moment you start panicking, I'm like, and there it is. Now I can go to town.
Yeah.
There's the panic, right? Oh, you're losing. Now you're down to like 20% left. You haven't touched me.
I've gained the ability to read your mind.
Now you're going to jump back and start doing fireballs because you have no actual up-close game.
Yeah.
Cool. We're done here, right? I learned to love those, right? Because it was straight up like 3 points next. Mm-hmm. Not saying that's what's going to happen.
Thanks
here.
for the quarter, buddy.
Yeah, but like, yeah, I'm definitely hoping to get to that like point of just like, don't get salty on the character select screen.
Just wait till Flowchart Genjuro becomes a thing.
It's already a thing.
Okay, well, there you go.
It's already a thing.
So you should just win every Genjuro match now.
When he comes sliding at you, block backwards every time.
Mm-hmm.
Don't block forward. You should know what's coming. React to it.
Yeah.
Do better. Samurai Showdown's great.
Yeah, it's a great game.
It is. I hope that this philosophy of keeping really strong characters in the game will eventually
rotate around to your baby,
or just there's a sweet spot. Just keep it within the sweet spot. Right now, we're not in that sweet spot. Right now, Genjuro gets to do what he wants. If we can just,
It's funny because...
Or, I'm a big fan of buff up, don't nerf down.
Everyone's a big fan of buff up, don't nerf down. The only time... you should check out a Corey Gaming video. I love that fucking channel. About why buffs feel better... why nerfs feel worse than buffs feel good.
Yep.
Why you should buff. But nerfs should be reserved for shit that's fucked.
Yes.
That's like, no, this has to go. It's ruining it.
Yeah.
It's
Mm-hmm. I don't need Genjuro to be shittier. I need to be able to deal with it.
Yeah.
In a way that hopefully gives it a better shot.
It's interesting because from all the games that I played and that I talked to you about playing, there's two main ways that I see long-term games like introduce new stuff to, shake it up. Mm-hmm. There's one where you have a balanced patch and you go, okay, Genjuro might have been a little too crazy. You just cut the damage on like one of his things and give him one less option, and then you buff half the cast or whatever, right? Then the other is we're going to introduce a new character that Genjuro gets crushed by. And change nothing else.
Okay, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Which is how a lot of fighting games seem to do it a lot of the time. And it's like, I don't know if that's
I don't like that because that means it means you're telling me to switch characters.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
Well, you know how you could switch characters? By buying this new one.
Yeah. I don't like being told that the answer to your problems
is to play Joker.
Yeah.
He really is Bayonetta's son, isn't he?
I had no idea, but when I played that episode, when I did Ultimate for Get Into Fighting Games, and I was just like, I want to learn Joker because I like Joker. And then I had a lot of fun with him. And then this week I found out that, Arsene...
human scum.
Arsene was trending, not Joker.
Yeah.
Not the player.
Yeah.
Arsene, specifically, because apparently he's a problem.
Yeah, well...
Yeah. So, that's good stuff.
That's the issue with top tiers, man, is you pick a top tier, you're human garbage. It's just true. You see that video going around of like, oh, you play Richter? Oh, man, it's not... I'm sorry, just everybody's gonna know you're a trash person. Oh, okay. Who else do you want to play? You want to play? Oh, okay. That's fine. I'll play Ganondorf. Oh shit.
Hose mad.
Hose mad.
Hose mad. Hose mad.
Hook. Hose mad times 24.
That's the number. So, yeah. We'll see where that goes.